From America's heartland, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, celebrating junior bowling and elevating junior bowlers. Today, episode 151, the 2023 Kansas City Open September Points Tournament. 5 players have advanced to the TV finals, and one of them will emerge as this month's champion in Division I. Let's meet them. Bowling in the number 5 position is Eli Clinklin of Lee Summit, Missouri. He'll meet the number 4 qualifier, Landon Stoddard of Higginsville, Missouri. The winner of that opening match will face the 3 seed, Nolan Nash of Greenwood, Missouri, the reigning PBAA Player of the Year. That winner will face the 2 seed, Caden White of Lee Summit, Missouri. And the winner of that match will bowl for the title against our tournament leader, Rhett Ryman of Kansas City, Kansas. One of these 5 talented players will find his way to the winner's circle to claim the Division I title at the Kansas City Open September Points Tournament and will sign the coveted trophy pin. We're back at Olathe Lanes East in Olathe, Kansas, the home of the biggest and best youth bowling program in mid-America and the Kansas City Metro. And you know, as the Kansas City Open kicks off its 29th season since its inaugural season, which had just one event on the calendar in the spring of '96, the tournament has come a long way in the years since. Big thanks to Chairman Lee Miller and the KCO's Board of Directors for allowing me to bring you the stepladder finals at each month's KCO in the 2023-24 season. And today, our camera's eyes are fixed on Division I, the scratch division, with players who average 200 and higher. Here's how our field arrived at this point. As always, every player entered in the KCO bowls in either the A or B squad, and they all bowl 6 games of qualifying, 3 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. As you can see, our leader, Rhett Ryman, got off to a blazing start when he fired a 780 to get things started this morning. Nolan, Landon, and Caden were all hanging around the top 5, and Paul Stegall, who fired an 822 in the morning block at the April Points Tournament in Leavenworth last season, was right there with them. But then in the afternoon block, there was a bit of a shakeup. Paul Stegall fell back a bit, and Eli Clinklin and Tashawn Clark, who you saw on the show in Gladstone last October, moved up, and the 3 of them were all close for that 5th spot, but Eli was the one to get in. Meanwhile, you see Prodigy TOC champion PJ Douglas in contention, and his younger brother Anthony has opted to bowl with the Division I field this year. So one of these days, we may get a Douglas v. Douglas match, but it won't be today. In our opening match today, it's our number 5 qualifier, Eli Clinklin, another player who has opted to bowl Division I this season, battling it out against the number 4 qualifier, Landon Stoddard. Both of these young guys are 15 years old. Landon, a little older, he turns 16 next month in October. Eli's birthday is in March. Landon, the higher qualifier of the 2, had the choice of starting lanes, and he has elected to lead off. He wants to finish last. And he buries the first shot right in the hole. That is a strike to begin. Take another look at it. High backswing, big loft over about 8 at the arrows, out to about 7, and sweeps them off like a vacuum sweeper. Oh, a great break to start for Eli Clinklin as something gets the 9-pin late. We'll take another look at it, and this time we'll watch his reaction to it. Yes. We love getting those. Oh, and you love getting those too. My goodness. The 7-10 goes late on that one. Watch this, he'll rip the 5 over into the 7. And then the head pin comes off the wall and gets the 10. The messenger. So a double to start for Eli. Now Landon up on the right lane. Oh, he pulled that just a pinch. And it didn't hold, so he leaves the 4-7. Now you will see bowling to our left and to our right. To our left on lanes 5 and 6, that's Division 3. And over on our right on lanes 9 and 10, that's Division 2. We'll tell you how their stepladders play out when we get to the end of the show. Landon soft rolls it at the 4-7 and converts. So strike spare to start. And both players clean through the first 2 frames. Landon started bowling at the age of 10. His high score, a 279. And his high series, or high 30, as we used to say, 740. Oh, look at that one. He shreds the rack. Talk about ripping the 5 over into the 7. Watch this one. He'll hit in the half pocket. Watch the 5. It goes to the wall and comes back and gets the 7. Wow. All right, Eli, perfect through 2. And his string stops at 2 as that one comes up high. Leaves just the 3. You just throw your strike ball, maybe move your feet a board or 2 to the left. Oh my goodness gracious. He goes with a spare ball to go direct at it and just pulled it about an arrow to the left of what he intended. And my goodness, there's an unforced error in the 3rd frame for Eli Clinklin. And the lead gets handed off to Landon Stoddard. Eli will try to regroup here. Oh man, wraps the 6 around the 10. Eli playing much farther left on the lane. Two-hander with a little higher rev rate than Landon. He's going to hook the ball more. So he's got to move in. He'll go cross lane at the 10 pin. He made sure to get that one to the right. Didn't want a repeat of what happened in the 3rd frame. So he gets a spare in the 4th. But now Landon with a strike up in the 3rd with an opportunity to put some distance between himself and Eli. Carefully setting his feet, he uses the whole approach. And he buries that one. Landon very smooth, 5-step delivery, big loft. These lanes are really hooking. We bowl on the house shot at the KCO, but they only oiled the lanes once before the morning block of qualifying, and that's it. So these lanes have been pretty chewed up, so they're bowling on the burn. Landon, more of a down and in player. He can play more direct, but Eli's playing pretty deep on the lane. Oh, man. Like a stake through the heart. The Stone 8. That hurts. Not much you can do about that. Just keep going to that same well. You'll get your strikes. Look at that. He's got his left foot hanging off the back edge of the approach. Covers the 8 with no problem. All right, Eli Clinklin. He started bowling at the age of 8. Has a 300 to his credit. Gave that one plenty of room out to the right, and it comes charging back. I think he may have missed a little to the right, but of course on the house shot, you're going to have a little miss area. Look at this one. This one gets all the way out to about 5. I don't know if he was really trying to get it that wide. You saw that little look of chagrin on his face. He knew he got away with one, but you always take them. That one not as wide, but sets perfectly in the pocket. So Eli with a double. Watch this one. This will not get all the way out to 5. Over about 19 at the arrows. Only got out to about 8, maybe 7. That's where he wants them all. Landon's lead has been cut to just 2 pins. Boom. Landon reminds me a little bit of Christian Manel from Georgia, who was on Prodigy Bowlers Tour for most of our Georgia run. Watch how he lifts that ball to the top of the swing. See how his right shoulder gets way up in the backswing? Sometimes that happens because when a kid learns to bowl, they start so young that the ball is a little heavy for them. They have to feel like they got to hoist it up to get it to the top of the swing, and then they never unlearn that move. Comes in a little light that time, leaves the 2. If I was coaching Landon, I'm not sure I'd try to change that little move. He's been bowling that way for years, and he's had success. And sometimes you just kind of leave things alone if it's working for him. Bowling, like golf, is a sport where you got to make a repeating motion. If you can do it the same way every time, then there's really no need to change. Unless it's not working. And Landon has had success bowling this way, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, Eli. Got to double up. Now he's got a turkey up, and he takes the lead back with that one. He's got a pretty simple game, just straight back, straight through. Look how that ball is right under his head at the bottom of the swing, right next to his ankle. This is what we want to see. And those pins have no chance. He's got it going. Let's see if he can keep it going. Oh, it looked like he pulled up just a little bit with that one. But it was a good hit, just a solid 7. Watch it again. Watch the 2 pin. It'll go to the left wall, right in front of the 7, and come back across the pin deck, right in front of the 7, and missed it. Easy spare. And easily covered. So Landon, let's see if he can't get back on the strike train here. Just 7 pins down. A double would put him back in the lead. That half pocket hit, and this time the 10 refuses to go. So once again, a routine spare. He shouldn't have any problem with this. You see the younger kids who are just starting out have some trouble with the 10 pin, but your better bowlers are going to consider this very routine. Down it goes. So we get to the closing 2 frames of this opening match. Just 8 pins separating these 2 bowlers. It usually comes down to who can perform in the 9th and 10th. There he goes. That time he slapped out the 10. That was the hit he was looking for in the 8th frame, when the 10 refused to go. Watch this. Watch the 6 pin. The second one from the right. It'll go to the wall and come back and slap out the 10 pin, just like that. All right, Eli can polish this one off. Oh, but not with that. Oh, he can't believe it. The 4, 6, 9. This can actually be made, but you gotta be bold and go for the 4, 9, and that 4 pin can ricochet off the front of the 9 into the 6. I've made this thing several times. He's going at it the other way. It's harder to make that way, but you'll get 9 more often than not going that way. You might not get 9, you might get 8 if you go for the 4 pin. But going for the 4 pin, you got a better chance of actually converting that split. Doesn't matter now. It's water under the bridge, and now Eli trails by 6 in the 10th frame. Oh, and he doesn't get the swisher to go. Man, that looked like a good shot. He is not a happy camper. He knows he needed that one. He needed a double in the 10th to pull ahead. Landon's got a strike working, so Eli must make this and then get good count and just hope Landon makes a mistake. Yeah, well, that just handed the match to Landon on a silver platter. Now Landon just needs good count. Doesn't even need a mark. 7 pins will get it done. That is more than enough right there. So Landon Stoddard has taken the first match from Eli Clinklin. 3 open frames by Eli. A missed 3 pin in the 3rd frame. A very unfortunate split in the 9th, and then missing another easy spare in the 10th. That's not gonna get you there. And then Landon chops the 3 off the 6. But it's academic at this point. He's already got the match socked away. So it's Landon Stoddard who moves on to match 2, where he'll face the reigning Player of the Year, Nolan Nash. I hate to see a player lose a match, but Eli's 2 missed single pin spares cost him dearly. Even that split in the 9th frame wasn't really decisive. If he'd just made those 2 single pin spares, he'd have been right there with Landon at the end. But hey, this was Eli's first time bowling Division I, as he has opted to re-rate himself up, and I'd say he acquitted himself quite well on the day. We'll see him again. But on this particular occasion, it was Landon Stoddard who prevailed, and now he's moving on to match 2, where he'll face the hottest youth bowler in Mid-America for the past 6 months. Nolan Nash won 3 KCO events, a Heart of America tournament, and has been close in a few others. And oh yeah, he also received the PBAA Player of the Year award at the Prodigy TOC in June. So it's safe to say Landon will have his hands full with the player we call Replay. And that's a nickname we gave Nolan because after some lucky strikes that he got on the show last year, he would turn around, point to Adam Crouch, the Prodigy Director of Research, and say, "Replay?" As if to ask, am I going to get an instant replay on that one? And yes, he did. Well, he won't want an instant replay of that one. The 6-pin wraps around the 10, and he leaves the ringing 10. The bowler's nemesis. Right-handed bowlers, anyway. But I wouldn't think he'd have any problem with this. Down it goes. So Landon Stoddard will throw his first ball of this second match on the right lane, lane 8. Carefully setting his feet. And that's why when I'm working with the younger kids, the kids that are just starting out, the first thing I got to teach them is look at your feet before you go. Make sure you know exactly which board you're standing on. He's moved in a little bit. That one was over 10. It's over about 11 at the break point. He's going straight at the pocket. Very little break. The advantage of the down and in shot. You cover fewer boards, you have better control. And he's got enough power to rip the rack as well, so a double to start for Landon. And he gets off to a quick lead. That one over about 9 at the arrows, about 8 at the break point, a belly of about 1 board, and everything moves left on the pin deck. Down they go. That's the kind of action we expect to see from Nolan. He will scatter those pins and make them dance. We'll get another look at that one from a low angle this time. This ball will hit in that half pocket area. And here comes the head pin. Love that shot. And this time it's a wall shot to go. Whatever it takes. We'll see it again here. Nolan takes a tiny little first step. It's almost a 4-step delivery, but technically a 5. He scatters them. All right, Landon. He knows what he's got with Nolan, so he's going to take his time. Buries another one. Landon on fire. 3 in a row out of the gate. He threw that one a little wider than he did the one in the first frame on this lane. Watch this. That's over about 7 or 8 at the arrows, out to about 5. But down they go. And he takes a moment to collect himself while he waits for the bowler on lane 6 to go. That's Division 3 to our left. Division 2 is to our right. We'll recap their stepladders at the end of the show. Oh, another light hit. And it's shake and bake time for Landon. Watch this. 5-step approach. Very simple footwork. I love his game from the waist down. I tell you what, if you can build a solid game from the waist down, I'm talking about the platform, the footwork, all that, you've got half this game solved. Oh my goodness. Nolan can get those pins just flying around. This will be a good one to watch from ground level. Watch this. Again, in the light pocket, the head pin goes to the left wall, and man, that 10 pin was doomed. Eight frames bowled so far. 7 strikes between these two players. Oh, and he rolls out the 2 from behind. Nolan's got all the shots. Watch this one. This time it's going to be the head pin that'll go to the left wall, and it'll come back off the wall and get the 2 from behind. Landon being unusually deliberate. But I tell you what, he doesn't throw it until he's ready. There's something to be said for that. Even hoisting the ball up high like that, the key to his game is that the swing is on plane the whole way. Straight back, straight through. You can build a game around that. Look at the scoreboard. 9 out of 10 strikes. Oh, make that 10 out of 11 as Landon rips the rack. Once again, he'll be in that light half pocket, and everything moves left over toward the 7 pin. We'll see his reaction. Oh, yeah, he loves it. All right, Nolan. He smokes him this time, slapping out that 10 like a boss. Boy, we haven't had a match like this on Prodigy in a while. Look at that. Just that single 10 pin that got away from Nolan in the very first frame. Other than that, nothing but strikes. He just keeps piling them on. And that'll force Landon to feel some pressure. See how low Nolan stays at the line? That is one of the very best things about his game. Never pulls up and out of the shot at the foul line. He's down and through it. See, Landon the same thing. Oh, but he comes in just a fraction high and leaves the 4-7. Not sure if he missed his mark or if he just let up on the speed a little bit that time. It looked to me like it was just fractionally slower. No problem with the spare. I wouldn't expect he would have any problem at the 4-7. Here's a side-by-side look at the two players' releases. Landon, you see where his fingers are as he lets go of the ball, above the equator of the ball. And look where Nolan's fingers are, all the way at the bottom of the ball, well below the equator. That's where all the power lives, is down in the bottom of the bowling ball. Keep your fingers below the equator if you want to increase your rev rate. Landon depends on a more solid hit, although he still has plenty of power on the ball, but Nolan can just really make him dance. Landon right back on it. Landon can strike out for 278. Nolan still has a possible 290. Big loft by Landon. That will help delay the hook, which it's helpful to do that on really hooking lanes. Nolan with another pocket hit that tomahawks out the 10-pin with the 6. Here, we'll get a better look at it here. Watch the 6-pin once again. It's going to go to the right wall, and it'll come back and just knock the legs out from under the 10. All right. Comes down to the 9th and 10th again. Who's going to step up? Oh, man. That ball looked like it was fading away from the pocket, and yet he got everything to move left. Watch the 7-pin. I don't know what's going to get it, but everything moves over toward it. All right, Landon. Oh, he let up on the speed that time a little bit. It hooked high, but he trips out the 4 and the 9. That was huge. We'll see it again here. The head pin will go to the left wall, come back and get the 4. I don't know what got the 9, but they all fell down. Now, Landon needs this first strike in the 10th to pull to within 2 pins of Nolan. He's really just about in a must-strike situation here. It would be tough for him to win if he didn't strike on this ball. Oh, he sent that one a little right and gave it a little extra twist at the bottom. And you could see his reaction. He knew that wasn't his best shot. So, spare here and a strike on the fill ball would give him 255. Pretty good game. But will it be enough? I think Nolan's going to be able to get out of here with a win just by getting good count on his first ball in the 10th. That was the importance of that first strike in the 10th for Landon. It's a 255. That'll win 9 out of 10 games, I imagine. But it may not be enough here. Nolan just needs 9 pins on his first ball, and he will lock this match up and move on to match 3. All right, there's 9. It was almost 8. If that 410 had stayed up, he wouldn't have had to have made it. He only would have had to have gotten one of those 2 pins to win the match. But either way, he's got it locked away now. And I'm afraid Landon Stoddard is going to put his name in the Prodigy Bowlers Tour record book with this 255. Spare for Nolan. He's going to be in the 260s. That 255 by Landon will go down in our record book as the highest score ever shot in a losing effort. Edging Christian Manel, who shot 254 in a match against Big Logan Mathis, who shot a 300 at him. That is a 269 to 255 match. I'd call that an instant classic on Prodigy Bowlers Tour and a strike-a-thon. But it's Nolan Nash who's moving on to match 3. He'll face Caden White next. Well, that match was nothing short of another instant classic on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Landon Stoddard begins with the front 6, and yet he can't shake Nolan Nash, who starts spare 8-bagger. You got a feel for Landon, who had to think it might be his day when he began with 8 of the first 9 strikes. But when Landon failed to strike on the first ball in the 10th, while Nolan was still staring at a possible 290, well, it just all fell right for Nolan, who, with a 269, earned a hard-fought victory over a very worthy opponent. The sad part for Landon, aside from shooting a 255 and getting beat, is that he now holds a dubious record, the highest score ever thrown in a losing effort on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, edging Christian Manel's record 254 when he was defeated by Big Logan Mathis, who threw the one and only natural 300 game on Prodigy back on April 13th, 2019, episode 92. There it is! Logan Mathis has shot 300. So Nolan Nash advances to match 3, where the competition doesn't get any easier. Caden White has been knocking on the door at the KCO ever since winning the February points tournament in Leavenworth, Kansas. These two are best friends, and Nolan got the best of Caden in the title match at the KCO Invitational back in June. Caden would love nothing more than to serve a cold dish of revenge in the next 20 minutes. Caden, being the higher qualifier, had the choice of starting lanes, and he wants to finish first, so he's going to let his good buddy Nolan Nash lead off. Oh, well, that's a fine how do you do. Right in the pocket and a stone 7 to start the match. Nolan had 3 wins on the KCO last season, a couple of seconds, plus a second at the Prodigy TOC, and he finished 3rd twice at the KCO last year. So I think it's fair to say he had a season to remember. Easy spare, 7-pin. And he covers it with ease. Now we get our first look of the new season at Caden White. 1 win on the KCO last year at the February points tournament. in Leavenworth. That was the tournament that we missed because I was in the hospital after a car accident. We gave Caden a special exemption into the Prodigy TOC, and he made the most of it, finishing third. Hmm, 10-pin. What we call the soft 10 or the weak 10, where the 6-pin just kind of lays down in the channel and doesn't quite have the impetus to fly around the 10. But an easy spare. Caden goes straight at it and covers it. So both players out of the gate with a spare to start. It's surprising, these two both started bowling at the age of 12. Caden is 16, Nolan is 17, so they really haven't been bowling all that long, and just look at the skill they show. It's amazing. Oh boy. Well, just as I speak highly of his skill, he puts one right through the nose and leaves the Greek church. The 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. The logical place to throw it in this case would be to go for the 3 early in the match. Oh, well, that's one way of getting 3. Very nearly got the whole shebang. Honestly, though, if you're going to try to make the Greek church, I always recommend going for the 2 on the left. You got a little better chance, but early in the match, you want to get the count. So, all right, Nolan. Puts a strike on the board. Boy, we have seen him put a few of those up in the last season. Take another look at it from ground level. Smooth off his hand. Boy, he just rips the cover off of it. 10 back. Well, that open frame that Caden had in the second frame already has him 17 pins in arrears. You don't want to be giving Nolan Nash a head start. No one knows that better than Caden. Another solid one for Nolan. And he puts a double up on the board. Take another look at it. Big, long extension through the ball. Boy, that'll get that ball down lane just like you like it. Caden not going to sit quietly by while Nolan just pounds him. He'll put up a fight. That much I know about Caden White. He will battle to the end. Throw enough shots like that, he might find himself right in the thick of it at the end. Yeah, that one just got a little too wide. He's got some swing area, but not that much. When we talk about swing area, we mean you can miss your mark a little wide and it'll still get back. But he tested that swing area a little too much. Covers an easy spare, though. He really could have used a double to cut into Nolan's lead. Now Nolan with a double working. He can run away and hide early in the match. Nolan seems like he's taking a little more time today than I've seen him in the past. Well, you take time, you get a good result sometimes. Watch it again. You see it in split screen this time. A little high. Got the 9 to go late. And he extends his lead over Caden to 37. It can go up to 47 if he strikes here in the 5th frame. Yep, we have a balk. Something disturbed him. Since he doesn't put his thumb in the ball, it's probably not grip related, but he might have caught something out of the corner of his eye. Smart move. When it doesn't seem right, just stop, put the ball down, go through your pre-shot routine all over again. Well, it didn't quite work out the way he'd hoped. Sometimes it's hard to believe that somebody who throws as much ball as Nolan does could even leave a weak 10. But there you saw it. Just one of those crazy things about our sport. But he makes short work of it. And now Caden's got his work cut out for him. Trailing by 36. He needs to start stringing strikes to cut into Nolan's lead. Looked like he was motioning to the right, like telling the ball to stay right, but that looked like a pretty good shot to me. Here it is in split screen. Stay right, he says. It did. Now this is the most important shot of the match so far. He needs a double. He needs to start stringing strikes right now. Oh, man, that 5-pin wanted to get the 7. Something got in the way. So he is denied the opportunity of shaving Nolan's lead a little. Makes the 7-pin. But now all he can do is sit and hope that Nolan doesn't start throwing strikes again. And we certainly know he's capable. And there's one. Right on cue. As if there were any doubt. Another thing about Nolan's game is he gets really low at the foul line. When that ball comes off his hand, it's no more than about 4 to 6 inches off the floor. That's the modern game. You want that ball coming into the floor at a shallow angle. Let's see him again. See where that ball is? Down close to the floor when it leaves his hand. And I don't know, sometimes the body English gives it a little extra oomph. You never know, can't hurt. Well, it looks like Caden's got this right lane figured out. Now he's got to get something going on the left lane. Take another look at that last shot. One thing I see in Caden's game right there. See how he straightened out his left leg, and then he'll pull up through the shot. What I'd like to see him stay down like Nolan does, with a deep knee bend and stay down through the shot. Tell you what, there's the double he's been looking for. Now, if only Nolan will just start having some carry issues. The ripper. The half pocket, and he sends everything over toward the 7-pin. All right, Caden's only chance is for Nolan to slow down the train. 10-pin. A ringing 10 this time. We'll take another look at it here. Watch the 6-pin, the second pin from the right. It will fly up and around the 10. If you're right-handed, you will leave more of those than any other spare. So you better know how to make it. Well, that's what Caden needed to see out of Nolan. Was he knows he's going to throw good shots. It's just a matter of, will they carry? That one didn't. Oh my goodness. He almost left the 5-7. In fact, the 10 was kind of late in going. If he'd have left the lily, I think I'd have left the building. Nolan Nash with the 7-pin, and this is exactly what Caden needed to see. As Nolan cool off a little bit with his carry. Makes the spare. But now, if Caden can string some strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th, he can get himself right in the conversation here at the end. But he must strike. Oh, man. Trips the 4, but not the 9. And now it's going to be an uphill climb for Caden. He can shoot 202. Nolan is sitting at 197 if he doesn't throw another shot. Covers the spare, but I think Caden knows this is going nowhere. He had his chances. He just couldn't get a string of strikes going to get back in it. And that Greek church in the second frame just put him behind the 8 ball from the get-go. Good shot. It's amazing how the pins seem to fall a little easier once the pressure is off. Watch it again. Yep. Those pins just cooperate more when it doesn't seem to matter as much. Look at that. Take another look at this one. Solid as can be. He's inside the 4th arrow, out to about 12. Down they go. Fill it up on this last shot, and Caden can get to 202. It's going to be a 201 final tally for Mr. White. So Nolan just needs to kind of keep it on the lane. 3 pins on his first ball will send him into the championship match. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. He can get to 237 with 2 more of those. Even with all that power, it is so smooth coming off his hand. And this is what I tell these young people. It's not about trying to twist and spin the ball. You roll it off your fingers. Nolan just comes up the back of the ball. With a spare here, he'll finish with 227. There it is. These two friends shake hands. Caden wishes Nolan the very best in his championship match. Nolan will face Rhett Ryman for all the cheese when we return. Nolan Nash just picked up where he left off in the previous match, starting with 6 strikes in the first 7 frames. Meanwhile, Caden White got off to a bit of a bumpy start with just 2 strikes in the first 6 frames. And that Greek church he left in the second frame, well, that didn't help. It put him in catch-up mode pretty much from the outset, and he just never could put together a string of strikes to make it a close match. So Caden White takes 3rd place in the Division I KCO stepladder, while Nolan Nash is about to do the same thing he did last year at the KCO September Points Tournament: bowl for the title in the championship match. Last year, he was the number 1 seed and finished 2nd. This time, he's had to climb the stepladder and is facing tournament leader Rhett Ryman. These two were multiple winners at the KCO on Prodigy last season, and it probably won't surprise anyone if they repeat that feat this year. I expect this clash of KCO Titans will produce plenty of fireworks. 5 wins on the KCO last season between these two. 3 by Nolan, 2 by Rhett. Ooh, that's not what you want to see if you're in the Nolan Nash camp. To begin, right through the nose, he leaves the 4-6-7. Probably the best tactic here is just take the count, go for the 2 on the left, hope that something bounces out. The chances of sliding it over like we saw at the TOC, unlikely. So it's an open frame to start the final match. Nolan with 9 out. Now Rhett Ryman. I mentioned his 2 wins on the KCO last year. He finished 3rd at the KCO Invitational, 4th at the Prodigy TOC, and at Junior Gold in July, he finished 50th. Made it to the final advancers round in the U15 boys. He started bowling when he was 8. And he is really lofting it. I haven't seen Rhett loft it like that in a while. Goes through the nose, though, leaves the 3-6-10. Probably not the spare you'd most want to shoot in your opening frame. 6-pin giving him a little wiggle just to let him know it's here. But he covers it. So these two off and running. Rhett with a spare, Nolan with an open, and the early lead goes to Rhett. Once again, I'll remind you, the action to our left is Division III. The action to our right, Division II. And we will recap how their stepladders played out when we get to the end of the show after we visit with our winner, whoever that's going to be. Comes in light. Tried to roll the 2, but not quite. Almost had the 2-8. That would have been no fun. 2-pin, a very routine spare for a scratch bowler like Rhett or Nolan. Rhett has 3 300s to his credit. Covers the spare. Nolan got his first 300 over the summer, and he was pretty doggone happy about it. Nolan says he wants to be in the PBA when he gets of age. I think if he stays on the course he's on now, they're going to have their hands full with him. Oh my goodness gracious. It's like the earth shifted beneath the pins. Looked like he had the 7-10 up late, and then just everything moved left. Look at this. Everything just shifts to the left. And then Nolan, well, we've seen this once before on Prodigy. Nolan Kemp in Georgia used to put his towel on his head while he was waiting to bowl. Maybe it's a Nolan thing. That is not a Nolan thing. He's left a few of those today. Weak 10s. Just move left, go straight at it. Nothing to it. So we're still looking for our first double of the match. I was expecting this to be a high-scoring match, but maybe the lanes have gotten so chewed up. And these two high-rev players, there's not much oil for them to play on out there. Nolan backing off. Player over here on lane 6, stepping up just as Rhett was ready to go. We don't generally use a 2-lane courtesy at the KCO, but getting down here to the end, nobody behind us. You want to make sure you're ready to throw it. You can see off to the right, they're running the lanes. There is a league, an adult league coming on after we're done. There you go. Rhett really sending that ball in the air, lofting it out on the lane like I haven't seen him do. Watch this. Look how far out on the lane the ball is before it hits the floor. That helps delay the hook. But sometimes you catch the ball on the upswing with your fingers, and it actually puts a little more stuff on the ball, and it'll overreact, overhook. But that one was perfect. Now he'd like to get a double. And he gets the shaker to take him out. See it again. This one's going to hit light. That head pin will go to the left wall and do some of the damage. Actually, it flew up and over. Looked like just the 5-pin went over there and caused a ruckus. Well, I guarantee you that double by Rhett got Nolan's attention. And suddenly, his hot hand has gone cold. Just one strike in 4 frames so far. Not what we've grown to anticipate out of Nolan Nash. But he covers the 4-pin. And now he will try once again to get a little string of strikes going. There are a number of ways to adjust to lanes that get chewed up like this. Rhett has found one of them, and that's to loft the ball out on the lane to delay the hook. Nolan will just throw it harder. Oh, now there's one for replay right there. That one through the nose, it looked like it was nothing but trouble. He had the 4-6-7 standing. But they all go down, and the 7 is the last one to cooperate. But it did. And now Rhett with a 21-pin lead and working on a double. He can extend the lead to 41 with strikes in the 5th and 6th here. Boy, he would love to do it, too. But strikes are proving hard to get in this match. Rhett puts one through the nose and leaves the baby split, the 3-10. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 3. The ball will deflect into the 10. You're better off playing from the left side of the lane to give yourself a better angle. Just like that. That's textbook. A beautiful conversion. In fact, so beautiful. Let's take another look at it. Big loft. This is his spare ball. It doesn't hook much. Down they go. Well, Rhett knows this is an important shot here because with Nolan working on a strike, if he were to put a strike up in the 6th, Rhett's lead would shrink to 9. They'd be inside of a mark difference between them. So Rhett doesn't want to wait around to get a string of his own started. Oh boy. That's not what he was hoping for. That one got so much loft it skidded a little too far. I think he moved farther left and he got the double whammy. Delayed the hook with the big loft and moved left. And that ball came in behind the head pin. You saw how to make it. Put the ball on the left side of the 2, throw it over into the 10. He'll go all out for it. Oh, man. He didn't miss it by much. Maybe a ½ inch. Let's see. How close was it? About that close. But now Nolan can take the lead in the match with a strike here in the 6th. And he almost left the 3-10. The plot thickens. Who is going to be able to string some strikes in this match? Or is it going to be a spare contest? You better make those. Just 5 pins separating these two, and who knows who's going to step up. This is not the kind of match I was expecting between these two. I'll tell you that much. Oh, man. The dreaded 4-6. Right through the nose, just like he threw it in the first frame. And look at this. You can make it. And we learned over the summer, this is how you do it. Slide that 6 over into the back of the 4-pin. I didn't think you could make it that way when Antonio Miranda did it. Nolan will give it a shot. But you don't want to run by and give up 2 pins and count. He gets one of them. But that hands a bigger lead to Rhett. Now 18 pins out in front, and both players exchanging splits all of a sudden. I know Rhett well enough to know he's going to give it plenty of room. He's not going to mess with the nose. Well, I say that, and he puts one right on the head pin. Leaves the 6-10. Well, he's got to be just bewildered. How far left do I have to move, he's thinking. .610, this is choppable, be careful. Covers them both with the ball. That's the best way to make a spare like that. Well, each player with just 2 strikes through the first 7 frames. If I'd have told you at the beginning of the match the over-under on strikes through 7 was 2, I'm guessing you'd have taken the over. I know I would have. Who's gonna step up? There's one. That's the shot he was hoping to see. Watch this one. The big loft. Look how far out on the lane it is before it hits the floor. That's 6 feet anyway. And that is 10 in the pit. All right, Nolan, time to answer the bell. And now he can't stay off the nose. Well, we've seen this a time or two on Prodigy when they're bowling on the burn like this. You just got to move sometimes farther left than you think is even possible. You don't become a 3-time winner on the KCO in one season, as Nolan did, without being a good spare shooter. But what he needs to do is finish with some strikes here in the 9th and 10th to give himself a fighting chance. Well, he gave that one lots of room, and the ball didn't make it back. So, yeah, I think the word is bewildered. I used it a moment ago, and I think it applies here, too. Or flummoxed. That's a word I love. Flummoxed. That's what he is. He's flummoxed. Well, another easy spare, but he really wanted a strike there in the foundation 9th because Rhett can put this one out of reach. Leading by 19, working on a strike, getting up in the 9th frame. Nolan can get to 184. And Rhett is going to step back. Once again, something disturbs him. I don't think it was anybody on an approach nearby, although there may have been somebody from the bowling center working to run the lanes down there that may have been up on the approach off to our right. Not sure. Maybe one of the league bowlers off to the right taking a practice approach. Well, I tell you what, if your peripheral vision is that good, that can be a little distracting. But I tell you what, we're not done with this match yet. The 6-9-10, not one we see all that often. Put the ball right there on the 6 and 10, and you're sure to get it. Although you can make it on the other side as well. Rhett converts. But we're now down to the 10th frame, and Rhett is in the driver's seat. But he needs a mark here in the 10th to seal this victory. Nolan's got to be kicking himself over at the side there. He's had so many chances in this match and just lost his look. Rhett's thinking, if you're going to leave something easy. Or don't leave anything at all. That's an even better idea. And this strike right here sets him up for an easy win. Best shot he threw all match. 2 pins will get her done. Ten will work as well. And Rhett Ryman takes the first Division I title of the new season at the Kansas City Open. Here's the shutout ball right here. Gave it plenty of room. 10 back. Possible 203. Nine out on the last ball. It's a 202 for Rhett. And he'll take it. And Nolan finally moves left far enough and gets him to mix. I love those light shakers. Unfortunately for Nolan, it's not going to help him any. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The pins just seem to know when the pressure is off. They just go down a lot easier. Nolan waits for a fresh set of pins to throw his final ball, gives it big loft, and that works too. So it's Rhett Ryman who takes the title, and guess what? He's got to sign the coveted trophy pin. We'll visit with him next. Nolan Nash made 2 critical mistakes in this match when he left the 4-6-7 in the opening frame and then left the 4-6 in the 7th frame. And he just wasn't able to unlock the mystery of this pair of lanes and string any strikes until it was too late in the 10th frame. After the season he had in 22-23, it's easy to let your expectations get out ahead of your performance. I've long believed that if there's one secret to tournament bowling, it's in forgetting about expectations and thoughts about results. You have to stay completely immersed in the moment and focus solely on the shot in front of you right here, right now, and let the chips or the pins fall as they may. But if there's one thing we've learned about Nolan Nash in the last year, it's that he's like the tide. He keeps rolling in. He'll be back. But today is Rhett Ryman's day. He made a statement early with a 780 in his morning block of qualifying, and then just maintained his lead throughout. Rhett put the pressure on Nolan early in this match, and he just kept his foot on the gas. So our first KCO Division I champion of the new season is none other than Rhett Ryman. And I'd say it's time we sit down and visit with him. It's a new year, a new coveted trophy pin, but an old champion.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I would imagine it's going even better for you.
It is. Tough match against Nolan, as always. He's always had a couple of wins against me so far. I think I've yet to beat him. but it was good to beat him today. Great game by him. He had lots of great games climbing the step ladder earlier.
You used the same ball all day.
I did. My first 3 games before the break was 780, one of the highest of my KCO career.
Yeah, that was pretty juicy. And you ended the day same place you started it.
Yep.
We appreciate you guys.
In first place.
As always, yep.
We did have a little power surge this morning with Dennis behind, and as you can see, unfortunately, we have no front fans. It's one of the things that, unfortunately, we're going to have to get worked on in the morning.
Okay, so Eric Maxwell is making announcements to the league bowlers that are coming on.
So if you freeze, you may not want to sit underneath the back fans. Unfortunately, we do not have any front fans. Again, we did send a message through email. If you did not receive that, we are going to send roster forms out next week so that you can make sure we've got the right email, or if we don't have an email down, you can put it down so we can get a hold of it if there's any issues like this again. All right, we'll get you guys turned on now for your practice.
Thanks for sharing, Eric.
Yep.
So, as we were saying, how did you do it today?
It was really hard. The lanes turned to crap. My God, they were burned worse than I've ever seen in my entire life. I played deeper than I have in a long time, but in the end.
And that ball you were throwing hooks like crazy too.
It does. Everything else that I had would hook even more surprisingly. I tried to throw my reality, my phase 2, they all had some sand on it that I didn't throw earlier, so that I need to throw those.
Some of the viewers always ask, what is he throwing? What were you throwing?
I was throwing the TNT.
Okay. All right, well, you know the drill.
Oh.
This year you get to pick your color from the pens available.
That was purple.
He's going purple, ladies and gentlemen. And there it is. We've already had the Division 5 winner sign it.
I got
And now, yeah, dated 9/10/23. Because this may not be the last time.
There we go.
So congratulations, Rhett Ryman, champion in Division 1 of the September Points Tournament. As we mentioned, the bowlers in the periphery to our left on lanes 5 and 6 were the Division 3 finalists. Here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the 4-seed Tyler Farrow of Topeka, Kansas, defeated Christian Leahy of Prairie Village, Kansas. Christian appeared on Prodigy once last season and appears to have improved quite a bit. Then in match 2, the 3-seed Jaden Morgan of Olathe, Kansas, defeated Tyler Farrow in a nail-biter 174-172. But then the 2-seed Dominic Figueroa of Topeka topped Jaden Morgan 219-185, setting up an all-Topeka final match. And it was the tournament leader, Dylan Hunt, who prevailed over Dominic Figueroa in a thrilling final match, 230-225. So congratulations to Dylan Hunt of Topeka on his Division 3 title. And the bowlers in the periphery to our right on lanes 9 and 10, they were the Division 2 finalists. Here's how their stepladder played out. In match 1, it was the 4-seed Caden Ball of Greenwood, Missouri, who downed Tyler Haig of Olathe, Kansas, 259-219. Caden continued his winning ways in match 2, defeating the number 3 qualifier, Jonas Tucker of Liberty, Missouri. Then in the third match, Caden met the 2-seed Jacob Smith of Tonganoxie, Kansas. You saw Jacob on the show last May in St. Joseph. Jacob bowled his heart out, firing a 228, but it wasn't enough as Caden Ball got red hot and carded a cool little 260. That set up the championship match, where Caden Ball was looking to win his 4th stepladder match in a row. But tournament leader Donovan Courtney of Moberly, Missouri was having none of it. Donovan edged Caden 224-218 to cap off a day where he went from 8th after the morning block to 1st following the afternoon block, and then, of course, polished it off with a win. So congratulations to Donovan Courtney. In fact, congratulations to all 5 KCO winners in the September Points Tournament. You saw Briley Walschlager-Monty win the Division 5 crown on episode 150. Jade Fleming took top honors in Division 4. And as we just recapped, your winner in Division 3 was Dylan Hunt. In Division 2, Donovan Courtney. And finally, today, you watched Rhett Ryman go wire to wire to capture the Division 1 title. The next stop on Prodigy Bowlers Tour is Sunday, October 1st at Gladstone Bowl in Gladstone, Missouri for the 2023 KCO October Points Tournament. Last year, you watched Anthony Dokalis win in Division 3, but this year Anthony is competing in Division 1 with his brother PJ, and he's been bowling great. And in Division 1, Antonio Miranda captured his 1 KCO title of the season in Gladstone. Antonio won't be there to defend since he's aged out. But the tournament is a sellout, and all the usual suspects you're used to seeing on the Division 1 shows on Prodigy are entered and ready to go, plus a few newcomers that I've had my eyes on. You might be surprised if one of them makes the show. If you like what we do on Prodigy, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment down below. And if you'd like to support the work that goes into producing Prodigy Bowlers Tour each month, become a Prodigy patron. For just $5 a month, you'll get early access to all our full-length episodes, and for just $10 a month, you'll get that same early access, plus you'll get your name in the closing credits as an executive producer of the show, and you'll receive my undying gratitude. To keep up with all things Prodigy, including status updates, behind-the-scenes reports, and more, join our Facebook group. From any page on Facebook, just enter into the search bar Prodigy Bowlers Tour and hit enter. That'll take you to a page where you can submit a request to join the group. But remember, you've got to answer the screening questions to be approved. If you want to learn more about the Kansas City Open or to enter one of their upcoming tournaments, visit their website at www.kansascityopen.com. You'll also find the answers to most frequently asked questions about the tournament. So that's it from Olathe Lanes East in Olathe, Kansas, home of the biggest and best youth bowling program in the Kansas City metro and all across mid-America. So until next month, when we bring you the action from 2 of the divisions at the 2023 KCO October Points Tournament in Gladstone, Missouri. This is Coach Randy reminding you to stay behind the foul line and make all your spares. And I'll talk to you next time on Prodigy Bowlers Tour.